think we're live. Here we go. Hi. Sarah Mack here from withsarahmack.com. I'm coming to you live with Leo, who wanted to participate today. I think you can see him better on Instagram than on Facebook. You can just see the top of his little head. He wanted some attention, so I'm going to let him join in the party. And I had a flash of inspiration to come and talk to you today about uncovering your hidden superpowers, because this is something that I'm seeing happen a lot left and right when I dive into messaging with my clients. And this really happened for me. And you've had enough. Okay, off you go. And this is happening with another friend of mine that I've been speaking to lately. And so I wanted to kind of share this process that I see play out over and over and over again. So what I mean by this, and I'll share a bit of my story just to kind of like illustrate what I mean by this. So I posted about this on my story the other day. Like when I'm channeling and supporting my clients in Voxer, even when I'm doing masterclasses, you know, stuff will come through that I'm like, oh, that's genius. I need to implement that myself more. Even if I'm already implementing something, you know, already at a certain level. So there's this kind of, you know, it's like a truth that when you show up to be of service to people, you do just attract information, you attract wisdom, you attract knowledge, and you channel messages that you didn't even know you had access to or that are inside of you. And I know obviously like a lot of people who are watching will identify with this, being creators, writers, entrepreneurs, artists. Like the ideas come to you and through you, and that's really what creativity is, right? And this first played out for me when I first stepped into entrepreneurship. I had a big burnout from working in film, knew that I wanted to do something different. I wanted to have an online business and to have freedom to travel. Had no clue how that was going to happen. I was invited out by my friend to help her work her social media when she was in Indonesia. She was an online doctor, and I started helping her with her website copy. Never up until that moment considered myself a writer, even though I wrote a lot of poetry and I'd written theater in the past. Like I just didn't consider myself as a writer. And you know, it just goes to show how blind we are to our abilities so much of the time, when we could be making so much freaking money from the skills and the talents that we have. But because we just are not in the right mindset and we're not doing our money mindset work, this stuff just goes completely oblivious to us, and we're really leaving so many opportunities on the table. So, you know, I didn't even know what copywriting was. I didn't even really know how to edit. I started working as an editor, just helping people who I had more skill than, who needed somebody else, another pair of eyes to look through their, you know, their writing. I was working on people's novels, like fiction and nonfiction, mainly nonfiction. And then I discovered copywriting when I was just in the arena of online writers. And I started taking copywriting gigs, and, you know, I took a course and figured out how to do it and really learned as I went, as I was getting paid to learn. And in the doing of it, I realized that I was really good at it. I was delivering great results. Clients were getting great results. More people kept coming back to me. So, you know, just going from that space of having a desire for my life, essentially, which is I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to be location independent. I wanted to have a career where I was calling the shots, where I kind of got to choose who I was working with, and I was learning and exciting new things, and it was fulfilling for me, and I felt like I was making a positive impact on the world. I wanted all of those things, had no freaking clue what that was going to look like, and it just unfolded. And in the showing up and doing of it, I discovered this superpower, which, you know, has been the foundation not only of my copywriting agency, but also of my coaching business, and that has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. So how to access your superpowers, your hidden superpowers, is start where you are, know that where you are at is enough. I'm really like embodying this mindset. Where I am is enough. It's enough now for me to be able to start, for me to be able to start making money doing what I want, for me to get to that next level, for me to, you know, whatever it is I desire, to start to have that and to start to create that and to start to see that unfolding in my life now. really embodying that perspective. And then also recognizing that our story holds all the clues, right? Like if I had done a bit of self-reflection, I would have seen that I've been journaling, which I did when I ended up speaking to other writers and being like, can I really do this? I'd seen that I'd been filling journals my entire life. I'd seen that I was writing theatre all the way through university. I was seen that I studied English literature and was like writing papers and, you know, did a master's degree in film studies and was writing philosophical academic papers for 3 years. And, you know, it seems fairly obvious that I'm a writer, right? But because you're so in it, and that's just who you are, and it's just like breathing, that, or it's you've been doing it forever, that you don't identify like a small shift in the way that you can channel that gift and that skill into making loads of money and also bringing everything else that you desire into your life in the process. So just know that we all have these blinders on. And I really see this as people develop in their businesses, and I've seen this for myself too. Like as you show up and you serve from where you currently are, these other skills and gifts start to become activated that you never could have articulated, you never could have identified, and you never even maybe even knew what they were there before you started doing that, right? Like my intuitive ability to channel for people, I wouldn't know that that was there, and I wouldn't know what it would feel like to get an intuitive hunch around a client that I'm working with, and then to communicate that, and then to see how much that resonated with them and how right it was for them and how much it supports them. I would never know I had that skill unless I started doing one-on-one coaching, right? So, you know, and this has been a big foundation to why I have always made money as an entrepreneur. I have never not made money apart from the first couple weeks where I was putting up gigs and waiting for paying clients, right? And why I really believe in getting paid to learn, and why I really believe that we are able to offer value and deliver transformation where we are at, and get paid for it as we learn and grow, rather than being, you know, doing like the school model where you pay to learn and then you get paid for your expertise. That's the cool thing about coaching, is just holding space. We are able to support people to create massive results, even without specific skill sets, but then acknowledging which, you know, my business went to the next level when I started acknowledging the skill sets that I was bringing beyond just the mindset work and the coaching. And, you know, being able to deliver more specific messages that then allowed me to work even less because my content was doing the work for me, because I had that specificity and was able to build the credibility around it through storytelling. So, you know, these are the skills that allow us, when we lean into our superpowers and we know how to articulate them, can lead to so much more of a freedom lifestyle in our business when we know how to articulate them. So all of the clues are held in our story. And it's that when we start there, when we are growing our business, when we're expanding and shifting to our next level of income goal, to our next level of freedom, that's when the magic starts to unfold, right? And we're like, oh, this was there all the time. And now this has just brought this whole new level of ease and magic and impact for my clients, for me, for my money, for my business. And this has been there the whole time. This is the weird paradox about hidden superpowers. So how do we do it? Your story holds all the clues. So focus on your story. Focus on sharing your story, because that will just innately attract the people that will activate those superpowers within you. Because they have that resonance with who you are. And when you create that connection and resonance, that is your perfect fit client who just works the best with you. They will get the best results. They will be the easiest for you to work with. They will allow you to expand in the most natural, intuitive, fun, and aligned ways. When you lead with your story, this is just really what I have seen to be true for me and for so many of my clients. You know, leading with the message that you're most passionate about, because that is pointing you towards something. Follow your excitement. And then, you know, really leaning into your money mindset work, because that's usually the thing that's holding us back, is we either don't believe that we can have what we want, or we have imposter syndrome, or we have fear of whatever it is that we desire, having loads of baggage that comes along with it that we don't want because of limiting beliefs. So when we really allow ourselves to lean into our desires, when we really allow ourselves to believe, number one, that they're possible, number two, that we're good enough to receive them now, that's when the magic starts to happen. Things start to explode, things come in, you start to see skills activating in the opportunities that are already coming in for you. And, you know, doing the work, like the very, very simple thing that makes a difference between how much money you're making in your business is how many people you're helping. Like, just focus on helping one more person, focus on telling the story, getting the message across that communicates it enough to get another client in one place, in two places, in three places, in front of two people, 10 people, 10,000 people, right? Like, start where you're at, know that it's enough, focus on one person at a time, and get in the arena. Be helping people, be having those conversations, be using whatever gifts, skills, and talents you have that you know, feels like the path of least resistance for you to be offering now, because they will naturally evolve in that work. And then your next program idea will be like over here, and then over here, and then over here, in terms of fun, freedom, flexibility, being more in your power, being more in your genius zone, and being able to offer more impactful results to the people that you work with, because you're so aligned with what you're naturally really good at. And as multi-passionate creatives, we're good at so many different things. So finding those intersections with the things that you've embodied, the skills you've like lived and grown throughout your life, with the unique vision, desires, and passion, with the unique groups of people that you feel very drawn to serving, you get to be the person that's the bridge between, you know, this way of doing things and these people, and, you know, being the connector and doing things in your own unique way. And I really see this for so many of my clients, and that's what I do as well in my business. And I've just started doing astrology readings, so I see how this comes through in, you know, in people's birth charts and the different influences of, like, there's always a crossover between the teaching and the creative, you know, like the creative artistic part of you that channels ideas, that creates something from nothing. And then the teacher, that's really, you know, teaching is a way of embodying wisdom at a deeper level, right? Whatever you want to master, teach. So in learning about subjects that we're very drawn to, and then in teaching them and sharing that work with others, we embody those lessons on an even deeper level, and that elevates our creative practice. So the teaching and the creating, they go hand in hand for so many of us who are creative entrepreneurs. And so really it's just about being in the arena, right? Like following your hunches. Where can you start? Where are you enough now to be helping some people with some things that you're kind of clear on? Get in there, because that's when your work will start to unfold. And that's where I see clients, you know, they start with teaching this one specific like creative skill, and teaching that and creating programs and offers around that. And then in that, they start to bring in their other interests and modalities that they're learning, and creating a whole different type of experience and transformation with a really unique combination of, you know, energy healing and, you know, tangible skill sets within certain industries. So there are so many different combinations. It gets to be so fun. It gets to evolve. And the only way you get that clarity is by being in the arena, helping people, starting where you're at, sharing your story, allowing that to magnetize in the people that are the right fit for you to be effortlessly evolving in that really creatively fulfilling way. And the way that we do that is by following your passion with your message, you know, follow your passion, right? Like, what is exciting for you to help people with? Why are you passionate about it? What can you do for people? Why is that meaningful for you? Because that's going to lead to the parts of your story that will attract more of the right people into those relationships that allow you to evolve in such a fun way. And all of your superpowers become revealed, and, you know, your intuitive abilities start to grow and expand as you grow and expand your skills while you're working. And you get to be getting paid for this the entire time, right? So that was my inspired message that I wanted to share with you today. And I have a couple things. I just did an amazing masterclass, write emails that sell, where I break down my copywriting strategy that allowed me to hit 5-figure months with an email list of just 200 people. That really proves you do not need to have a big audience size in order to be hitting those big income goals. It's really about alignment and sharing the right message so that the right people come in and work with you. And then if you're looking for that deeper support with your storytelling and your messaging, I would invite you to join Tell Stories That Sell, which I'm currently running as a private mentorship, where we get together once a month to outline 4 pieces of story-based sales content that you can use as an email and as a post. you can repurpose it, and it can keep making you money for years to come. And it will really help you to integrate that way of writing, to know, lead with your passion, share your authentic story, do it in a way that leads to sales from the right people, and get really good at doing that so you can be hitting your income goals, making the money that you want, have 6 figures in your dream, creatively fulfilling business. And I will drop the links for both of those things below. Please share what got activated for you in this conversation, what came up, any questions, any insights, leave them in the comments below and tag me. And I will see you very soon. Sending you so much love. Mwah. Bye.